Good morning, sir. I think I remember you from last time. All right, if the county is ready to proceed, I see we have Officer Moore.
Officer Moore, Charlotte County Code Enforcement, Certified Code Enforcement Officer. On February 10th, I conducted my inspection for post-hearing from September 7th of 2016. I observed the pole barn that was additionally addressed as a pole barn where a permit was not required. He has now enclosed it with doors, which enclosing any type of structure like that would require a permit, not to mention the fact that it also created a junk-like condition on the property, which was also in violation at the time.
And the photographs you have of the property of February 10th of 2017?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the photographs that we're about to see, are those, do those accurately depict the conditions of the property that date?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so if we can just pan through them. Mr. Percival, do you have any objection to me admitting these photographs into evidence? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Anything further from the county?
Nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Percival?
Just for the sake of clarity, I'd like to point out this isn't in some neighborhood. This is out in the middle of nowhere. My nearest neighbor is 3 miles away. When I was here before, I was charged with several things, found guilty of something. I pressed the point several times with you, get you to tell me what it was I was being found guilty of. You couldn't tell me. You finally asked me to step out in the hall. She would explain it. She couldn't explain what it was I was being found guilty of either. She was told me finally I'd be sent a letter. Satisfied with that, I left. Then I didn't hear from her again until recently when she came out. And I said, who could possibly have a problem with what I'm doing out here? And what is going on here that you don't? That you have a problem with? And the only thing she could point out were 4 lawn chairs that I had sitting out there. Now, if she can show me an ordinance that says that a farmer can't have, and this is, I have cows out here, it's zoned for agriculture. That a farmer can't have a lawn chair to take a break in, I'll burn the chair right on the spot. We'll make sure that nobody ever violates the law again with that chair. But I've never been able to find one. She said I had a pole barn. I've never had a pole barn. Pole barns are made out of poles. However, like the other fellow that was just here in the green shirt, I've been back and forth to her office to talk to her people who hand out the permits. They don't understand what she's talking about because there's nothing in any of the rules, regulations, or laws that point out pole barn. There's nothing in there. There's nothing restricting me to the type of structure I can put up to keep a cow out of the winds. And those winds can get 40, 50 miles an hour out there. It gets hot. They need to get in the shade. They need to be protected from the rain. I have feed that needs to be protected. I don't want it getting wet either. I had an automatic feeding system. That needs to be protected. And when I look at that, I say, yeah, that looks kind of junky. The door is not closed. There's another door leaning up against the building. There's stuff out in the yard. It's a construction site. That part on the left, that's all enclosed to keep it from looking unsightly. And yeah, using doors to close that off. When I went out there, she said I had 2 weeks to finish the building. Well, I went back and I talked to her people, and they don't know what she's talking about. I don't need to put up a building. I certainly don't need to put it up in any time frame. However, again, just a matter of getting the information out there. None of that's there right now except for the fence.
Hang on one second. Anything further, Mr. Percival? Anything further from the county?
Officer Moore, do you have anything further you'd like to add?
Just basically that regardless of the type of property, being that it's zoned agricultural, it's still, the junk-like conditions are not allowed. He was explained in detail by myself and Officer Brown outside of the last hearing of what it was required to him, and we actually gave him extra time to come into compliance because the roads flood that time of year. And once I could get down there where it was passable, Officer Roadhorse did go to the inspection with me. I did do this inspection myself alone, but there has been no significant change other than it has worsened. And he's been explained about the permit procedure over and over of what was required. At the time when he had a pole barn, no, a permit was not required, but now that he has further constructed this structure, now it does require a permit.
I should tab these codes so I can get to them quicker.
Yeah, those are all doors.
Okay. Mr. Percival, do you have anything further?
Just to simply reiterate that, no, I don't need to have a permit, and even a pole barn, any structure, even a shack that you're putting up to protect livestock must be enclosed on at least two sides. Also, again, none of that's there. The only thing left on the property are the cinder blocks. There's not a stick of wood, not a door, nothing.
All right, well, Mr. Percival, when we went back, when this case was originally decided, we found the violations of the cited code sections, and so that's kind of, it's a legal term, it constitutes the law of the case, if you
Being
will.
found guilty of.
It was a violation of 3-930E and 3-976 as set forth in the affidavit. Have you reviewed those sections of the code?
I've got 3930 and 3976.
I'm sorry, it was 3-9-30E, I'm sorry, I misspoke. And 3-9-76 is what I have on the affidavit.
Prohibited structures.
That's what I have on the findings.
And if I could,
Again, I have,
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
3-9-30 also covers prohibited uses, which would be the junk-like conditions.
Okay. That's what.
Again, I have the same problem that so many other people who come before you have. We're told we're in violation. So we go down to the code officer to get permits, get whatever it is we need to get within the law, and he said, you don't need it.
Mr. Percival, what you just said bothers me a great deal, because I can understand how somebody would be lost, getting inconsistent information. I wish I had an answer for that.
Well, I'm too old to be coming back here year after year after year after year after year. What I can do is start coming by and picking up these, attending meetings, talking to people who have the same problem I have, and eventually get enough consensus to show that you have an inconsistent law. You have laws that say, you know, this is what you need to do, but then we'll find ourselves in violation. We try to get within violation, we find ourselves in court. When we get here, we're told we're found guilty, but we can't be told what we're found guilty of, and even the officers can't explain it, so we're told we're going to get a letter, which never comes. What happens is the following year, they're back out there again, and they're saying, this building is still in violation, and I'm still telling her, no, it's not in violation, and she can't show me where it is. She can only show me an ordinance that says that this is what I'm being found guilty of, that the building is in violation because you're not allowed to have it, but she can't show an ordinance that says this is why you need it. This is the law that says you have to do it. You get stopped for speeding, you say you were stopped for speeding, not for not driving correctly.
Well, perhaps that might be the thing that you might want to undertake to try to correct some of the issues as you perceive them. I don't have the authority to order the county departments to communicate more effectively with you than...
Well, that's where I'll come in. I'll get these people that you keep bringing up here, and we'll all go to the meetings at the courthouse, wherever the county meets, and we'll bring this up to them, and maybe we can get some laws on the books that can be followed. Because right now, there just seems to be a lot of confusion. And again, none of this is there now. It's all been gone.
But this goes back to the, what was it, December 22nd of 2017. 16, I'm sorry. And so apparently at that time, Officer Moore is saying that the conditions still existed in violation of my prior order.
And I'm still saying that she can't tell me or you what I am allowed to put up to protect my livestock, protect the feed that's there. What am I allowed to put on this property?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and affirm the affidavit as stated as a $60 fine because it is subject to a prior order that wasn't complied with as of December 22nd.
Is this the same order that you're unable to explain?
Yes, sir. That's why you're here again.
And yeah, and I'll keep coming here until we get this straight. Can you even explain right now what you're finding me guilty of?
The violation of my prior order.
The one about having a building there?
Yes, sir.
The one that her office says that I don't need?
It's 3-9-30E, 3-976. That's what you're here about today. That's what the prior order was. So you might...
You're telling me that you're finding me guilty of having a building that you know I don't need a permit for?
Well, the sections deal with prohibited uses and structures and junk-like conditions, and since you've previously been found guilty and those issues have been addressed, I really don't have a lot of choice.
Even though buildings don't exist anymore.
If you wish to appeal, then certainly that's something that you might want
Okay,
to
fine,
pursue.
that's what I'll do. I'll appeal it, and I'm going to get the people in her office to come down here and testify to you that I don't need a permit.
Sure, I understand.
Now, how do I do that?
Well, I can't give you the legal advice, but
Well, that's the mistake that's made by a lot of people, is that they force people like me to learn how to do this, and then we end up being a real problem.
well, it's not a problem to exercise your rights, Mr. Percival. Not at all. In fact, I encourage you to do so. I understand that you disagree with my ruling, and I would encourage you to investigate what it's going to take to appeal.
I know it's going to take. I'm going to get her boss. I'm going to have him subpoenaed down here so that he can explain all this.
Sure.
And that's where I'm on my way now, too, to get their names.
Okay, Mr. Percival, that's fine.
Now, how do I appeal this?
I can't give you...
Confusing, isn't it? Well, I'm sure somebody will get a hold of me eventually.
Okay, Mr. Percival. Fine. That's what I'm not going to worry about it now. What do we have next? 28? No, that was... Okay. Okay. All right, with my understanding, no one else is here on the consent affidavit, so that we'll, I'll go ahead and accept the remainder as stated. This will take us to Article 8 of the agenda, old business, and note there's none. Article 9, we are going to start. You. All right, case U, COD 1979, Robert O.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done...
for life hating so much.
Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, we're
Sheriff's
just
getting a little too pushy.
is
You
the
work
hard
for
part
us, Sheriff.
in
Just
keeping
keep
them
that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.